a lot of that. We already have some with Yoru Bala.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and I think that already sets the stage for this entire series right now because Sentinels, I mean, everybody right now is trying to run through the math on what they could do to try to actually make this work for them to maybe make it to LCQ, maybe make it through groups as well. It's a long task ahead, though, and they're going up against something that Faze has really started to innovate with and get really good at on this map.
We saw the graphic. I think it was like 5 or 6 steps to success. In order for them to get to that point, you're right, and they already got through box number 1, or line item number 1, if you will. This is a big one they're going to have to get through in order to get to that point. We touched on the Yoru in the hands of Tens.
They're coming over the rope.
Yeah, and they're walking right into Konpeki. Oh, he gives it up.
Some interesting couple of steps there from Tens with his TPs. Tried to fake out like they were going to be behind that box. But the timing just doesn't work out. The hit is coming on for Faze on the A site, though.
Maggie's a bit stuck right now. He should have the rendezvous to get away, but he's just standing there, man. He's just taking the fight. There he goes. Dashes back. The site should be lost at this point. Baby Bay, he had some absolutely filthy plays from this very spot just last week. See if he gets a chance at something here. Sentinels attempt this 3v5 retake. Flash, Baby Bay, yep, he already takes care of Dapper. It all falls down to Konpeki. Already gotten one with the Headhunter, but the flash in the face. 2 people below him.
30 bullets.
Just keep stacking it up.
Okay.
1 bullet, though. They're just toying with him, man.
I like that rendezvous from Dicey. It's like he's just putting it down as a shield. You know? The interesting thing about that, actually, though, I was mentioning how Tens was using his TP to get way ahead inside of A main and maybe actually set up a pinch. But they don't go for it. And then after that, while we saw that timing that worked out for Faze where Sentinels backed up, they backed up so far because there was a pinch happening on the other side of the site, right? You had Baby Bay going out with his fast lane on the site, and they pinched sand from there. That was just really well played from Faze, and unfortunately Sentinels makes the wrong call.
Faze trying to push the tempo around Dish. Try to get the ult orb. Little info spotted. That's just so difficult to deal with, man. Baby Bay's jumping around the corner. Retreats back to safety, and then you've got 2 other people swinging out. That's just brutal.
Dicey is so fast up through this smoke, too, and he's in trouble. Yeah, he had committed way too much there. If he got that kill, sure, he maybe could have done something. But on the other side of the map, that was just the classic Dish take. And mind you, Dicey dies, but he doesn't give up any weapons. That's the power of Chamber on these anti-ecos. You can just be a little bit more risky than most of the other agents, and at this point, they've kind of figured it out. That has pulled a little bit of a stack out from Sentinels, and Faze should have a free sight.
Well, boy, are they making sure that there's no one there. You see the fast lane, you see the smokes out from Brim. No stone left unturned. And with that, Baby Bay should be able to get the spike down.
Isolated fight between Flya and Dapper.
Easy. A little touch and go at first, but ultimately into shots onto Dapper. Numbers continue to dwindle for Sentinels.
Tens' TP is in the back of sight right now, but they know. Baby's basically watching it.
Does he take it? Nah. That would have been something had he done it.
Hey,
Baby Bay's already got
a flash or something would have worked. I think it could have worked. He was the only person watching it. Nice.
Maybe. Baby Bay 3 to clean up the round as Faze gets to 2. Pretty clean start overall for the boys on the attacking side.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at that A execute that they've run now twice, obviously in different conditions, but that fast lane to get out on site with the smokes in combination, paired with a lot of flashes from Flya and Poise. I mean, we've already seen the strengths of this optic comp over many different teams running it now in many different regions. I think Faze has kind of put their own spin on it, right? A little bit more aggressive with the Neon, which is very nice to see. On the other side, too, while Tens is picking Yoru, and that might be a first here on Fracture outside of FPX and Angel's shenanigans early on this stage. This is not the first time that Tens has played Yoru. He played it on Bind significantly.
Yeah. Maybe not necessarily with much success, but you're right. He did try. An effort was made. While Sentinels tried to hold back the onslaught that is Faze onto the B site with also the same amount of success. They just kind of get rolled over.
Yeah, and this is with guns now, too. Baby Bay and Dicey with rifles on the bonus. hard to get back into this if you're Sentinels. All coming from the spawn.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Well, okay. It doesn't seem to be getting any easier for Sentinels. They're down to 2 members left. Tens with no armor to his name. He's the last one up. Getting utility dumped all over the place as a Prime Gaming Flawless comes through to get Faze to 3.
No contest on that tower hit at all. And I don't quite recall who was there from Sentinels, but just fully stunned up. The execute's really, really nice. Right there, Raucous, the coach stepping in.
Who, mind you, popped off last week, right here. I mean, he had himself a map.
Sure. A lot of people were saying, hey, if Sentinels wants to start this miracle run, they've got to keep playing with Raucous, which I think is hilarious to me. But we'll see.
If it works, though.
It works. So far, not so far.
Look at how fast they move, man. Like, it seems pretty clear what their game plan is, and especially when you've got a Neon in the fold, it makes sense. Baby Bay brings the ferocity follows with the rest of the flashes, and the philosophy is very clear. They have a speed, and that speed is go.
He is so fast. Absolutely right about that. And also, you could see how comfortable he's getting on this agent as well. In that moment, right, where he's fighting Kampeki on top of the box, yes, they mark him up, but as the wall falls, he's putting his concuss right at his feet. And that's no lineup or anything like that. He just really understands the agent at this point, where he can come up with things like that on the fly without really causing chaos to his own team, right? That is very difficult. Those relay bolts bounce right back at you in cases that you try to go for that. So always have to be careful.
And we may see an errant one or two, but at least in this round that was not the case. Another Prime Gaming Flawless comes through back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken, is Faze early on, but seemed to be riding off to the sunset here.
Yeah. This is going to be, obviously, another big test. Kampeki's got the op this time. He's posted up in halls. And that's exactly where Faze are going to go for. A fast fault line into sand, dropping down. It actually covers both the drop down. This is actually right straight up into an ult.
Baby Bay again going forward, this time using the ult. Kampeki's able to get one with the op, but Baby Bay again causing problems.
Dude, he got 2 stuns there.
Had taken care of Tenzo. He's still playing down in hell. Shoulder given away, but you're not expecting the second. Fly not able to land the shots. I didn't think Tenzo was ever going to leave that spot, to be honest with you.
Oh, and you see the layers to that TP too. While Dicey goes for this 1v3, he's cornered on all sides.
He's nowhere near the spike either.
Yeah, there's actually layers to the Sentinels defense. I mean, Dicey has to go back through spawn. They've grabbed the spike as well, but the fact that on an A hit like this, Tens could fight the site and then back up as well, that's going to be tough to deal with. Somebody has to cover that. Otherwise, that is coming way faster, and you don't necessarily know because you're not there to hear where Tens TP'd to. And he's not going to activate the trademark or anything like that. So Faze, until they realize that, might be in trouble on these A hits.
In a lot of ways, you get similar vibes to how Chamber would play in a situation like that, right? You've got the get out of jail card and maybe a little bit longer as far as animation goes, but the idea is similar. He's got 13 seconds. Yeah, he's going to be able to get the spike down.
10 seconds left.
This would be back-breaking for Sentinels if Dicey can pull it off. He's only got 41 HP, and Tens gets a third on the round to get Sentinels on the board. Much closer than the experts anticipated.
They were isolated there. Dicey just does fantastic to close that out. Those angles that he's clearing speaks to how good he is at taking them. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Tens gets the kill, flashes out, gets another, and then his TP is all the way into the attacking spawn.
Enemy remaining. Spike planted.
And it's going to take more than heroics to shut that down the line here. And you're mentioning how the relationship to how that feels against Chamber, right? But Chamber is constricted. Yoru is not constricted. He can go anywhere on the map. As you can see, the TP all the way back over towards the B site here for Tens. That's so easy for him, these picks. And that's Baby Bay. That's a big entry point for Faze.
Not just a big entry point. In a lot of ways, Balla really the only entry point. We'll see how they choose to try to
they lean
move
on
forward
Dicey now.
here. Yeah.
And while he's good, he has the highest success rate on first bloods. Obviously, that can't happen anymore, but he could still get these entries.
Faze cutting noise here, trying to introduce a bit of doubt, perhaps a bit of misdirection into the minds of Sentinels as they try to think through what they're up to.
Raucus has a judge in sight as well. That could be hard if Dicey can't deal with him on the other side of that arcade.
They're not flipping the map. The Brim. Yep, there it is. There's that judge. And the op out of 10s, too, gets another. You hear the orbital strike has come down. Faze left in tatters.
30 seconds left.
Superman's in a 1v4, and he's not even going to take one with him. No consolation prize. Nothing for his troubles. Sentinels get to 2.
I mean, all eyes on 10s now. That was such a big entry for him. They recover the op. But not only is he going to continue to go for these aggressive jump peaks, but he's getting a lot of information. This, again, onto Baby Bay. As the relay bolt is falling, he doesn't get flashed at all. And he's TP'd to safety. This time gets another kill, but not able to TP. Doesn't matter. Already got the damage done.
This time an op in the hands of Kimpeki. As TenZ seems to have been satisfied with the damage that he did. Again, we see this fast pace. Kimpeki's not going to... I don't know. Yeah, he's not able to get out, but also his rendezvous's gone.
Yeah, they must have... Yeah, actually, that's
cleared it out. Yeah.
Early pick and Dicey again. As soon as that happens, look at this with the tour de force. He's already taken so much space. Raucus is gone. The B site, while obviously there's going to be Faze executing on it, there's nothing there for them to actually find. Once these smokes come down and the wall goes up, even the KO ults included into this. Oh, and Shazam is tagged. That was actually a big thing for him because he has the Rolling Thunder right now. And they're rotating around to not get caught by it if they use it on site.
Yeah. Perhaps even trying to go down and clear out hell if need be. See if he chooses to use it again. Keep in mind that Rolling Thunder.
It just used the knife. No, it doesn't actually. I thought that they might use the Rolling Thunder the other way.
Either way, it doesn't hit a single thing. It whiffs. Dicey doesn't. Oh, not able to land the second. And Kimpeki wins it out with the Headhunter, no less. Flya trying to cause some more problems from backside. Not able to land the shots that time around, but he cleans it up at the end. Faze get to 5. The setup was gorgeous. They understood what was on the other side of the round coming from Sentinels, and they play around it perfectly. Yeah,
that was gorgeous. Really, really nice stuff. I mean, immediately right off the bat, taking down the setup from Kimpeki and TenZ. Right, there was no counter utility used. The rendezvous, again, not sure exactly what happened to them. There's one. Oh, they put it up in front.
Yeah, and it gets shot out. Fortunately, he doesn't get punished there.
Yeah.
Right, like he's able to slip back out from behind the box and get to safety, but he was in a sticky spot there.
Yeah, he gets so far ahead of that stun. Bay's here against TenZ.
Dicey continuing his antics as you see flashes, utility traded back and forth, a relay bolt, pop flashes, everything as TenZ is still there. He uses a dimensional drift to try to get out. And he is going to be able to do so. Is he going to go back in?
No, just for info. But that pick from Dicey as well. He's rotated all the way to join his team now to actually work with this op as the entry man. Now I expect after this smoke falls that they try to walk in with that op.
Yeah, and this is where you see some of the conditioning come into play, right? Think about what Faze's playbook has been this entire half. Hit A pretty hard, make some noise, and then have Dicey lurk B. It's not there this time.
Yeah, he's all the way back on A, but it might just flip, right? 40 seconds left. They have plenty of time to work this. They're going to fake A. Look at TenZ. He's gotten so much information. He just ran all the way up, down arcade.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is look at the rotations, the setup from Sentinels. It's because of how Dicey has been playing that they're still leaning towards B this late in the round. Now you've got the gate crash that's going to take TenZ all the way back to A. And it's a slow, quiet hit. The Rolling Thunder. Kimpeki hits a filthy shot onto Poise. How much is left behind this punch? His kills get traded back and forth. 13 seconds left. The Spike has made it out with 10 seconds left. It should go down. It's a 3v3 for the Sightballer.
Molly just came in as well, not actually delaying anything. So close from Dicey. Has an opportunity right now to really just completely end this round, but Kampeki's close.
Rare miss. He may get a chance in a second as he's getting spammed through. He misses twice.
Superman's close and low.
1v2 though. And I don't think they know where he is. That's a big one. He's had to get that one. He's gotten it down to a 1v1. No, but time is not on his side, and Raucus just swings out and lands a shots onto Superman. He's gonna get the defuse. Sentinels get to 3.
Okay, there's Coach Raucus. And they're keeping it really competitive right now, as the Faze executes are slowing down a little bit while they're trying to mix it up. In this case, definitely some indecision. And I think Sentinels kind of read that really well. Kampeki played the smoke great right here. And Tens as well, right back through in the gap. I think a lot of these teams nowadays on Fracture are using the staggered smoke method that we kind of saw on Bind in early days, where they're smoking once in the entryway, or right in the middle of the site, and then once on top of the box as well. And people are taking advantage of that. That's that right there.
Faze still have enough to buy. Still got some money to work with. And it's another fast hit onto B. They have found success exploiting tower before. Can they do it again? Brim's just on the other side. The flick out from Baby Bay is just repugnant.
Disgusting. Dicey's there to trade Tense as he goes for the decoy too. The fake out not working out.
They've established control. Sentinels with 3 members left. Kampeki still has that operator.
Go, go, go!
As Baby Bay throws a little shoulder, a little knee. No info gathered though. At least yet, and you wonder, Sentinels, you look at their money situation, it's not great, but they want to go forward. Well, they've gone the wrong direction. Faze get to 6. They stop the bleeding.
Again, that's the consequence of them, playing off, not offside. Obviously, a lot of people are fighting, but there's nobody coming through tree, nobody coming through arcade, nobody coming through underpass. None of that is happening.
Yeah, it's one-dimensional.
And that's good because they're not able to retake fast through that smoke to take arcade, to even give themselves that space. So you see, Kampeki's trying to walk out with an op through a smoke, so he has to just switch to his headhunter and try, and there's 3 angles he has to clear there. It's impossible for him.
Tough scenes, and now Sentinels again, as we mentioned at the end of the previous round. Not a whole lot in the bank. Back to pistols across the board.
They do get actually dapper to underpass here. But this is so quiet. Raucus, they finally actually do see something. That's when they execute starts. That's crazy.
There it is. Man, you're almost, if you don't have a judge, if you don't have something to kind of play anti-flash, you're just kind of a sitting duck there. Right? When you've got the fast lane, you've got the KO flash, the relay bolts, you've got everything thrown your way. That's just a brutal spot to be in.
Go, go, go!
No crossfire set up on that.
Yeah.
It's that time of day. It really is. I think the confidence, the work that FaZe has put in on this map over the last 2 weeks is clearly showing here in spades. And Baby Bay is going to have fun with it. He just is.
He hit a bit of a lull after the hot start that he had, but you're right. I think 10 and 4. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
And look at Dicey too, man. 15 and 5. And we're definitely, we're at the tail end of the half already, but this is open qualifier phase, man. They've stepped up after the first 2 losses that they had. To get that win last week over Cloud9, it's rejuvenated them. They look exactly like they did. And for reference too, those 2 at the top of the scoreboard is nothing new. This team, and that duo, specifically always has the most percentage of their team's kills. And by far, oh
my goodness, he read him like a book.
That's ridiculous too. And I think Tens was flashed on that TP attempt.
Relay bolt. Clear things out. He's left alone on A. And the thing is, it is Baby Bay, so it often requires more than just one person's attention. Couple of dueling operator shots. Go through one.
Not fast on towers.
No, they're not. And they've got the orbital strike to delay. Superman, how, my goodness, how is he so close? That looks like he's right on the edge. And he somehow stays alive through the barrage of utility.
They're not aware. They really aren't of Kempeki here in tower. What can they do?
They're going to push him. Oh, they are going to push him. Oh, but he gets caught at a horrible time. And now Raucus is left in this 1v2. Again, he was good here. He was good here last week, but he's been spotted, poised, backing up. It's very well played there. Understanding he's got help as long as he rotates back, does just that, and Raucus has no way to win that fight.
Beautiful
Last round before
from
the
Faze
switch.
in the final moments of that as well. Really, really nicely done. And at this point, I mean, these entries from Baby Bay, from Dicey walking up on the other side, are really, really good. And Ten's not being able to find any value since that one round he jumped out of dish with the op, right? That was the only time he really got something done early
Has he
in
had
the
the op
round.
since?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And to stress the importance right now of these early kills, every round, almost every single round, there's only been 1 out of 12 so far that the first kill does not end up in a win.
Oh, boy.
So here we go. Sentinels
Spike
wins.
down A.
Didn't need the op for that one either. Baby Bay drifts around the corner, takes a couple of shots to the face. Rolling Thunder's used too. Kempeki looking for something with the tour de force. Bay's just got rolled. My guy, they got rolled.
Went straight for that same exact sand push, and it doesn't work out. I mean, this is still a great half for Faze. We're going to see if they can keep this up and shut down Sentinels, close it out in the second.
An 8-4 half in favor of Faze, and to be honest, it could have been worse. Really, Faze dictated the pace. They went fast. Sentinels really struggled to get their footing, and while there were moments, it took all sorts of heroics to get them to that point. I'm Doug, and with me is the better-looking, more intelligent, taller, more handsome Bala.
Chill.
Right
Most
there.
handsome man in esports right here across.
We'll see how Sentinels can do on attack. Remember, they've got the Yoru, and we saw some cool stuff, but then we also saw a lot of not cool stuff. To be honest,
I could count on my fingers the cool stuff, and that was
nope. That was, I mean, that was cool stuff if you're a Sentinels fan.
yeah, that's for sure. Okay, Dicey on the flank still. You're just gonna push the pace. Already evening things up a little bit right now. Poise is in actually a really good spot to help this fight.
His headhunter stats have to be through the roof, bro. Right? Oh no. Still got the gate crash on the other side, but Poise has shown up. A little bit of help. That should give him a bit more room to breathe. Remember, this is a 2v2. For as much as Sentinels have looked great, they've got a chance at getting a little bit more. The flick was almost there.
He picked up a
Dicey
ghost.
gets it to a 1v1. Dapper has to heal up.
This plan is great for Dapper though.
Armor, the swing! Dicey's not able to land the shots. The classic out from Dapper at the end wins him the round.
That was chaotic, and Baby Bay just keeping up the tempo right now. Faze exactly what they did on that first half. But with that start from Dicey this time, what was it, 3 kills from him? I
think
get
so.
scared because he is a, fantastic defensive side player. I think when I quoted those first kill stats,
Last play.
I have to imagine a lot of them actually come from the defense. So
Yeah. I mean, statistically, Faze are so good on the defensive side. Just, again, kind of like reaffirming what you were just saying, yeah.
stack over towards Dish. Pens is coming back over towards this one side right now.
There are 2 here. Does he have a gate crash?
Oh, he just broke that really fast.
I don't think he has a way out of here.
Raucus is stuck too, but they're not pushing it. I think the read there from Faze is okay. They have the trademark here. Oh,
Still get it.
good pick again.
Timing.
Maybe base shut down. We'll keep an eye on that. They didn't move the stack though. They're still here on A.
And a cheeky little set of doors. They feel the pressure that way. Fly ultimately fall. Okay. Sure. Right.
Disgusting. Kempeki just turns as he hears the noise and fires off 2 blind no scopes. Not blind, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Point blank. There you go.
The thing is, if history has anything to say about this, Dicey's somehow going to get 2 or 3 with the Headhunter and get us all excited, all hot and bothered about a 1v1. We'll see. Or not.
Yeah.
History can change too, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I don't like getting riled up for nothing, you know? And that happens a lot in this game. So, gun round now. Kampeki sticking with the Marshal. And no ops on the side of Faze. So, speaking of Dicey, not being able to get that actually is going to be... He only has 3.9k, so probably invested just a little bit to get a couple headhunter bullets last round. He spent them all in the pistol.
Safety's off.
And Sentinels spread very far. They're going to go for something here inside of Dish. And I'm actually pretty surprised not to see Tens put out his TP early to get back to the other side on defaults or anything like that. And that to me indicates that they want to really push the Faze onto the site.
All sorts of flashes being dumped onto the site as the rest of Sentinels follow through from drop, and they still have 2 players playing on the southern side of the map.
Fake teleport.
Relay bolt, Raucus gets the spike down, 10 swinging around, not again. Much like the previous round, Baby Bay never really has a chance in that fight as he's running away.
That was a great fake out though for him. Tens, after the relay bolt, Baby Bay thought he stunned him and he TP'd out, and he didn't. He just used it as a fake. Great stuff from Tens, and starting to see a little bit more proficiency here on the second half with the Yoru. The first half definitely wasn't great from him. I mean, there was a lot of moments, I think round 11 specifically, where he TPs in the halls with no support. And Faze no answer right now, but as long as they save these guns, they have another chance to fight back in the next round. But I'm thinking Icy might have his sort of force online, and that could get dangerous now in this next round. Because he needs to start getting an op online. Yeah, he does. He's got it. Because of those couple of kills that he got on that pistol round.
We'll see where he chooses to set up. You presume he's going to use it. Alarm bot already set. Just on the outside of ramps towards B.
This is a good call. I mean, Sentinels has gone so far mostly towards this A side, right? So for him to try to find a one-off pick. And again, they've been approaching the way that Terrence is using his gate crashes consistently late as they push up into the site, and not to get back and rotate and use it as a default. So Dicey's position, I think, great here.
Maybe in trouble here. He has the rendezvous to get away. Dicey not able to land a shot, and he peeks right back in, gets a little greedy, tries to find some more, and instead is starved out of anything he could have found.
He usually hits those, man. He really does.
Solo.
All sorts of trouble on the other side of this corner. Boy swings out at just the right time to take care of him. The kills get traded back. Faze can't really fight.
One enemy remaining.
Just cleaning it up now at this point. And yeah, Superman again goes for another save. I think we will have actually 2 players, Baby Bay and Poise, should be able to actually buy into this round, but it's going to be an interesting decision again. Dicey as well, probably didn't spend much, so potentially they can get another buy cobbled together here. But again, Dicey missing that entry is so uncharacteristic. In most attempts, right? He out of 3 rounds, he's hitting 2 of those entries easily, winning those entry attempts.
Well, and he was on a heater too in the first half. I think when we looked at things initially, he was what, 20 and 9.
Yeah. Well, those first 3 kills in the pistol, right? So yeah,
sure.
Close. I mean, but at this point, it's a tie game already. Sentinels has just recovered straight up from the same streak that FaZe hit them with on their own defensive side. And at this point, the game's open. I thought it was a great lead from FaZe, but
this is going to be a fast hit out on B. Look at the setup. They're going to push out, and there it is. They've got the pop flash out from KO. Baby Bay pushes forward, and Sentinels, they take a couple steps back. FaZe get the orb as a consolation.
And it could be important down the line, but Superman really not occurring too many right now. And it is a little bit of a light buy with the saved guns. So, dangerous round still for Sentinels.
Take this! Go, go, go!
Push them all the way back. Surprised to actually see Sentinels fight this back, but Baby Bay's just going for it. He might catch him on the rope. No. Raucus is so lucky that he didn't continue to push that, but no information known from Baby Bay. Does not know what he's going into on the other side of that.
The spike still hasn't made it up very far at all, and they're literally standing right on top of each other. As it looks like the spike is going to go in through ramps towards B.
Still, I mean, FaZe maybe making the wrong read. No, they're reaggressing back onto B, so this is good. Poise getting that first entry for FaZe in this half as well. Should set them up great with this no command too
30 seconds left.
as they hit the site.
That smoke from Superman, as you see on your screen there, it's just so difficult to get through, and it feels like it lasts an eternity. Should be clearing out there any moment. Faye able to land a big shot. You hear the no command come out too as now they try to push forward. 13 seconds left. Time is running out for Sentinels if they want to get through, and they seem to have done it. Gonna get the spike down. This take was beautiful.
Shocking that that take works out the way that it did with Baby Bay.
Last player standing.
Oh.
But Baby Bay. Rockets left into 1v2. 35 HP. So much thrown his way.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my goodness, that flick.
Nah, this
He
dude
did-
is crisp. Put him in the
Yeah.
starting lineup. This dude is crisp, bro.
He didn't win the round, but surely that's an aim-left flick of the day right there.
Jeez Louise. Okay, exactly the same point that Sentinels ended the streak for FaZe. So if all things continue the way they are, we're headed towards overtime right now in this first map. And I was not expecting this sort of performance. I really wasn't. I thought this
yesterday.
I thought this would be a little bit of a walkover for FaZe, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And here we are. Especially on Fracture. The interesting part, too, is that Sentinels is going right into Haven next, and that's a good pick for them, but they're going right into the same Neon comp.
You
Not
want
the
to
exact
play?
same, but
Let's play.
Similar
they seem
for
to
sure.
be really prepped against it.
Fly hits the Rolling Thunder and he pushes forward, but the thing is he's alone right now. He's up pretty far and he doesn't have a ton of help around him, and yeah, he gets punished. Flya falls.
Basically with the trade and dish, though, so it's still even. But a lot to work with still. Shazam has his Rolling Thunder. Dapper, 2 orbs off of a res. I'm not quite sure if that actual dish one is there, but there's plenty of orbs on this map to work with in 1 minute as well. Yeah, it's there. If he finds this kill on a Baby Bay this round, I mean, it's already almost won for them because this res is easy to get in dish.
And they're so spread out. Look at that. They have no real idea of where anyone could be coming from. You've got the operator in the hands of Dicey.
That's a good angle.
He has missed the last couple shots, though. He's going to have to come up big here.
Found 1 this round so far, but they have smokes from Raucus, and he's in position to have to let it go.
Rolling Thunder, Baby Bay in a world of hurt as Dicey just plucks Dapper out of the sky. Baby Bay pops the ult and he takes care of Raucus too. And the spike is down in the middle of the site. They're going to have to fight through what FaZe have left, then pick it up, plant it, and then fight for the rest of the round. It seems almost unwinnable, Bala.
Yep. The one thing had to go right there, and it was not getting killed by Dicey there. I think the smoke, the way that they executed on that site, right, is the common way I was talking about earlier, where they're splitting the site in half. But in that case, where you know Dicey is opping, where you know he TP'd back to spawn, why are those 2 smokes not landing? On top tower, on top of this rope right here. I actually had 3 as well. So, I mean, that's a misread on where Dicey would choose to opt from, especially when they're not re-smoking dish themselves. And I'm not sure if there was actually a smoke available or anything like that, but still.
Who's next?
Dimensional drift coming through early on as Tens goes on an exploratory voyage to see what info he can find. Dicey somehow, I don't know how that shot didn't land.
I'm back.
It's a full retake setup for Faze too. Might just be a go next, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a Rolling Thunder. They don't.
They have the fast lane from Baby Bay, so if they cook something up with that, with these relay bolts as well, it could be really good. Where's Tense going?
They've gotten 2 big openers.
Tense is really late here. He can TP back, but he's trying to go for a flank, and this is going to take way too long.
It is a big flank. It's a massive flank. A scenic route is, I mean, really, at this point, the side has been lost. But is he going to get the timing? Is he going to be able to show up at just the right time? Yes, he is. Spots 1.
If he's starting.
1. He's going to flash, but I don't know if that's going to pull him off. Chaz is left alone in this 1v4, and the defuse comes through. It was a cool idea, and he did get 1 out of it, but you're right, Bala. That was too late.
Yeah, almost like, I feel like the TP in this case was supposed to be used just like in case he was too slow for it or anything like that. Or maybe put himself in a better position after he gets one kill, but it wasn't thought out that far, right? That clearly was just an on-the-fly decision from Tent, and it almost worked. But if he was playing Neon, it probably would have worked. I'm not going to lie. Because he didn't use that TP either way. Yeah. And at this point, Sentinel's still able to get a buy together, but Faze really close, and they're playing a hard dish setup, and that's where Sentinels are going. Early confrontation.
Knife through his Rockus. Eats an aftershock. Ult Orb goes into the hands of Superman to get the orbital strike online. So that early confrontation that you mentioned, small battle goes in favor of Faze.
Could end up being a big battle as well if they end up going back towards B.
Here.
That retake from Faze clearly is so strong. And adding an orbital strike to the mix too. Look at the confidence they put into Dicey here to hold the B side by himself with just the trademark and his op on the arcade. 4 players over towards the A side because of it.
He's still having a standout performance for his many shots as we've seen go a bit errant. I think he's like 26 and 13, so
Ridiculous.
certainly makes sense. But even with that posted setup, you see Sentinels are all grouped up towards A. You've got 3 coming in from the north side from Dish, and then the remaining 2 in through halls. Remember, again, the orbital strike that Superman was able to grab early on. You see that Gary Couch come through, the flash as Tense takes it. There's no one on the other side. Poise is able to swing out and get the kill onto him. The orbital strike delays. Oh, 20 seconds left, too. They don't really have time to flip things. They don't really have any other options. They have to go forward. And that forward has gotten into a 2v2. Superman, what kind of shot is that? And Pecky, he's got to win this. He had to win it.
He really did. I didn't realize how dire of a situation that was until Shazam just makes the jump on top. I'm like, what is he doing? The spike was lost on top of Dish, on top of the drop down. And that was because
you see it. Yep.
Down A.
So unfortunate. And it falls even further after Superman gets that ult. Big ups to Superman. I mean, this entire round from Faze was so well planned out. They got the orb for him, they got the orbital strike, and then the hold was phenomenal because he used the orbital strike to divvy up the hit from Sentinels. The only player who was in was Tens. And Tens tried to TP, gate crash on top of Poise, but Poise makes quick work of it.
Baby Bay in a spot to make a big play, and nope, decapitated right off the bat. Numbers heavily in favor of Sentinels. Superman takes a big step back, tries to play to safety, manages to do so. Molly to provide even a bit more cover.
It's a little ridiculous that Superman's not getting punished here from Tree.
They're about to try. Look at him slip into his own smoke. Tench just on the other side, surely not expecting this. No. They're literally right beside each other. Backs facing one another. How has he gone in undetected?
Last player standing.
Oh, but he's alone now in this 1v5, and there was a chance at something. That flick was pretty gross too, but he still has 3 more to go. He's healthy, but it's just too much. Tens at the end of the day cleans things up.
A late flank again. But this time the hold is really good. I mean, hold is really good from Sentinels in that post plant, and the attack as well is really good too. Going straight up through arcade, and obviously Superman slips the net, but they go for kind of just walling off the gen area, and then instead of pushing through the smoke, which obviously would have been ill-advised with the little amount of utility they had left, they just use that utility on tower instead. But it really is grouping 4-1 hits onto one side here, and I worry about it beginning to get readable.
It's interesting here. The knife out from Poised only caught Tens. There were 4 here.
There we go.
Off your feet!
You will
There's
not
the Reds
kill my
from Dyson. He gets an early pick again, but it's still a 5v5 with the Reds.
Found my trap.
I see with a shot at another. That's a second on the round for him. He still has that operator. Took a bit of damage.
Poised ult makes it so they can't get out here, honestly. And another TP up. Dicey is held for 20 seconds.
They've still got a chance, I think. This thing, they've got the wall, yeah, to provide cover, and Dapper gets the spike down. Numbers in favor of Sentinels. As you see that initial panel go down, and we're just kind of waiting. At what point does Baby Bay decide that he wants to make a play, that he wants to go? It almost seems inevitable at this point. Tapper able to land the shots onto Superman,
Player standing.
and it's all onto Baby Bay. Sentinels get to 10. They're fighting back, man. I keep thinking like Faze are going to be able to put them away, but Sentinels just refuse to go down.
Yep. And now is where the mind games really, really begin. Because Faze wants to close this out, but low money. Really, really low money. We got a Superman ult again, back online somehow. And we're waiting as well.
Of course, it's the two Bash Bros with Vandals coming into this round. We've also got Baby Bay 1 point from his ult. He dashes forward.
Kent is useless in this position. Sure, he's in the dimensional drift, but no flash is actually thrown out, and he can't. Baby's just following him. Oh my goodness.
I'm back.
Just completely. I mean, I've never seen that before.
If you're fast enough, you might as well do it. Dicey not able to land that shot. Kenpeki wins that out. That's one Vandal down. Baby Bay still has his, and that opening kill got him his ultimate.
Lights up. Ooh.
Oh, dude, they're really working them. Again, low pistols, or just low money for the other
Baby
side.
Bay. One. He's still got that ultimate. 25 HP, though. Not a lot to work with at all. And Poise is upgraded. He just got Vandal.
It feels like one of those moments, Doug.
7 bullets. 7 bullets for Baby Bay. The moment's gone. At least for him, it's going to have to be Poised who does it, if he does it. And he's got so little time. He still has 3 targets. He's going to have to work his way around. And Kenpeki gets actually the 3rd on the round to get Sentinels to 11.
Can't believe we've ended up here. Another close game, another close map. Fracture has delivered on a lot of fronts. And it's honestly quite clean from both sides. Sure, minor mistakes in either direction. A couple decisions could be cleaned up, but that's this game. Every once in a while.
Enemy remaining.
Nobody's perfect, essentially. Right now, Sentinels in these last couple rounds have felt that way.
You know, even with this Faze call a timeout, realizing they're so close to the finish line, they try to figure out how they're going to deal with the devastating death blow to take them out of Fracture. Ball, I can't help but think to the quote from MC at the beginning of the series where, yes, they still have some of these strange roster things going on where Raucus is playing in place of Sick, but you mentioned they almost look perfect. Like this Sentinels, they're clicking, they look really good.
Yeah, they do. And MC's words of warning, I think, maybe should have been heeded a little bit more. Because, again, this is a Sentinels without Sick, right? Without their main controller. Raucus is playing a role that he's not normally used to playing. Formerly, when he played on Faze, he was playing the initiator role. And now, they're going up against a fully fledged, full strength Faze. And they're making it work on their map pick.
You want to
Kenpeki's
play?
really
Let's
stepping up
play.
for them.
Great opener up from Dicey. And Baby Bay slipped down under exactly. Yep, he catches 10 sleeping.
Crazy.
I'm out of here.
It all falls apart in these final moments. Because Faze just keep stepping up the aggression, right? They just put their foot back on the gas, continue to do what they did and love to do.
And the timing on that ball is so insane because that's one of the things that Neon allows you to do is to be able to get around that corner if you're pushing in outside of B from northern side, slip down under into underpass, and then catch that timing the way that he did. Like, that again, that's one of the benefits that you get when you run a Neon.
Yeah. Specifically Baby Bay running it too.
Down.
He'll take those gaps, right? He'll make sure he forces those timings. Other people are a little bit more sheepish with it. Trademark in the middle of the site will confirm the hit when it comes, but they're opting to look for picks instead. Great decision from Shazam. But will it pay off? Because look at the passiveness from Faze. They're ready for this.
Just heard the ultimate use.
30 seconds.
Swinging around, wins that duel onto Superman. You mentioned that they were trying to play for picks, see what they can find. Oh, all they found was one. Raucus is left in this one before. A Rolling Thunder thrown in his face.
Come on, coach, you got this.
I mean, he's been good. that. You can't see a thing. And it's Dicey at the end of the day who cleans things up for Faze. Who knows how many kills the guy had? We'll see here in just a moment. But it got a little touch and go. Sentinels made a run at it, but Faze are able to take care of Fracture 13-11.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous performance from Dicey. You mentioned it at the end of that. I think that might have been one of our highest kills maps out of anybody, and that wasn't even overtime. I mean, that was monster performance. And even we were criticizing, but I think
we were just saying that he was human.
He stuck with the averages, right? After we were saying, oh, like that was an important shot he missed with the tour de force on that eco round that one time. It's like, oh, I mean, what are we criticizing at that point? Because he farmed in a certain sense, and especially down the line too, shutting down that last round, getting the openings multiple times. Big performance from Faze, but also I don't think this Sentinels team is out of life just yet. I mean, it might look like that on the standings, but so far today, that did not look like a dead Sentinels team.
No, perhaps Haven is where they can find more of their footing. The first map, Fracture, goes to Faze, and we are going to a break. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, he's picked up the angle, a bit of spam, and there we go. Big push off that angle. They didn't connect it onto him. Dicey's still there. What is that?
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT NA Challengers. Golden Boy here alongside, you already know, Mimi and Dust to break this down. And I have to say, that Dust was a game that I was not quite expecting to see the score line be, right? Like, that was a lot closer than I would imagine Faze would have liked it to be.
Yeah, especially considering the struggles that Sentinels have had overall as a team, and the struggles particularly on Fracture, losing their last 3 or 4. You'd think that Faze are going to kind of walk away with that game, and that's kind of how it started in the first half. I mean, we saw the attacking side be critical, really for both teams throughout the game, but Faze obviously kicking things off in the first half. I mean, we kind of saw that, you know, it was 75% of the opening kills were taking place in the first 30 seconds of the round, which, to be fair, when you put Baby Bay on Neon, not surprised to hear that. Yeah. And then with the chambers we had in the server as well. And then, yeah, like, you know, usually whoever got the first kill won. I think it was 11 for 12, you know, so it was very much about, could you get the opening pick? Because if you did, you were going to capitalize. And certainly that's what Faze is able to do in the first half. But Sentinels, you know, had their share of it as well whenever they got to switch over to the attacking side.
Yeah, and, you know, Mimi, I just want to get your thoughts on the game. I know you have an elaborate telestration you wanted to break down, but really just in general, I just feel like Sentinels, even with, Raucous and the situation that they find themselves in, I like the Yoru pick. I thought the Yoru pick was very fun. I know that it was only like one round or ish, but I still enjoyed as I had learned from you, the Yop. You know, the Yoru with the op, which, I thought that was pretty cool. Just some different looks from this team that traditionally has kind of kept themselves stagnant in recent events.
Yeah, I think there were some really cool moments with that Yoru in particular. I think around the second half where Tens is just running at the spawn just as like a human decoy. Some of those rounds where it was just him getting value with the operator, there were some cool moments. But what I wanted to focus on here was what we found out of Faze in that match, and particularly how well they did in some of these opening rounds and how their pace essentially forced Sentinels to always be playing their game. Des quoted that stat that in this game it was practically always in the first 30 seconds that those openers were coming, and the round I want to take a look at here is with 2 players holding an A main, both Tens and as well as I almost said Dicey, Kompeki positioned in this area, and then it's practically everyone over here for Faze, both initiators and then Baby Bay. As we zoom back on out and let this one play a little bit, we'll see how things start here. There's a stun set up from the breach. You can see it happening on the map here. The stun will come out on this angle. Baby Bay also has a conk available, and then there's going to be a knife coming in from this KO in just a moment. Here you go. You see the knife come out here. You see the stun come out down this angle, and then as we zoom back out and let the round play on through, that suppresses both of these players, both Konpeki and Tens, are unable to get out of the angle that they're stuck in right here, right now. And in doing so, with Baby Bay also combining this with the Conk, he can just run forward, spam through this box, gets Tens. But what's really good about Faze is they don't get greedy in this one. The wall goes up, Baby Bay walks on out, and so they're playing from this really early 5v4 advantage. But you notice while all this is going on, look who's over on B. It's gonna be Dicey just walking up, and everyone on Sentinels is starting to rotate. And as this round continues, we'll fast forward a little bit later, you see that Faze realized that Dicey was in position for this lurk. Now they head on over, and even though he used some of his utility in the early round, Baby Bay still has plenty for the site hit. The Conk hits site, both the angle right here on the stairs and deeper in towards the site, and they just keep pushing. You'll see on the mini-map here that everyone is going all the way deep, all the way towards the north side to get a post plant from over here, and with the spike being planted right on this angle, it's an incredibly potent spot to play from that inevitably wins Faze the round in the post. Another round here, this is round number 9 that I wanted to take a look at here. This is where Sentinels is trying to kind of take things into their own hands. They have a Yoru TP set up right here, and they have the Yoru and the Sage both pushing north side. On the other side, Faze has that same cluster, 4 players stacked up. They play a lot of these 4-1s with Dicey out on his own. And as this one as well starts to play on out, you see it's a pretty similar story. The flash comes right here, and Tens is forced to TP, which leaves Dapper in a pretty bad spot. He's going to be alone. He's going to be blinded. He'll be able to get behind this wall, so he's safe. He doesn't die, but all this space has been conceded. And at that point, then, there's going to be a commitment in towards Heaven. Out comes in Aftershock, out comes in Knife, and it's so much space that Faze is able to gleam from just a pretty easy play there. Baby Bay gets the entry, and in the end there, Faze also closes out that round. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was really consistent that they were able to find these moments, these really fast opening pushes, but that was mainly the story of the first half. Once we switch on over to the second, Sentinels really turned that ship around.
Yeah, speed was truly the name of the game for this game, right? It was just constant aggression, just trying to get the better of your opponent in the early round, and then, you know, a little bit of evaluation what you're going to do next year. But I really like those looks that, you know, both teams were giving one another, right? Especially that Faze look I thought was really cool, just to see Dicey just making that progress, you know, on the other side of the map, but still allowing his squad to just kind of cause a ruckus. No pun intended for the other team. On the other side. But, you know, Dusto, one player that you actually highlighted going into this game and was someone that you wanted to see more of, and we saw plenty of them, was Dicey, because Dicey was disgusting and was certainly not alone, though, because Konpeki was kind of matching him, but Dicey had one hell of a game.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, this is the 2 chambers, again, a very important role on Fracture, and you can see that Dicey just able to edge Konpeki out in a couple of key categories, and really that made a lot of difference when you consider how close this game really was, right? I mean, just those extra few frags, those extra few bits of damage really, you know, kind of stack up over time. And I think you could also point out to the fact that I feel like in general, you know, while there were some bright moments from Tens on Yoru throughout the game, Baby Bay on Neon had much more impact overall throughout the course of the game. And again, I think, you know, those are your 2 heavy hitters coming into the server. And when Faze is able to kind of initiate their players just a touch better, you know, that makes the difference of the rounds you need to come up with the victory. And so, you know, look, it's not all doom and gloom for Sentinels. I think kind of Bala kind of mentioned that as they passed it to us, that it looked like a dead Sentinels. He looked like a team that still had some fight in them. And certainly to their credit, they made a nice little comeback in the second half and almost forced us into extra rounds. But Faze does just look like, you know, the more in shape team. And again, some of that's out of Sentinels' control and some of the situations they're dealing with. But at the end of the day, you know, Faze has been putting in the work. They finally got the roster where they want it, and now they're starting to get the results they need.
Yeah, despite it all, Faze was able to pick up the win. But now we look forward to Haven, and Agent Select's going to be coming up here at any moment now, Mimi. But, you know, Haven is a good map for both teams, but this is technically Sentinel's pick here. And this is going to be the breakdown, and we might be going to Icebox if necessary. But Mimi, do you think we're going to get to Game 3? The Sentinels have it in them. I mean, look at that score line on Fracture. It could be possible.
I saw some really inspired stuff in the second half from Sentinels, but I think that Haven, well, it's been a good map for Sen. It's one where Faze's new comps have been looking incredible on it. The way that they played versus Cloud9 with the Neon and Breach combinations was working impeccably for them. Really a similar story to what I was kind of breaking down in those 2 rounds, in that it was constantly that early pressure, those early kills coming on through. And for Sentinels, I suppose the advantage they have is they're coming in as a bit of an unknown. I'm not sure how they're going to pivot the comps with their coach playing.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, Sentinels are actually on a 4-game Haven winning streak right now, but a lot of those wins are against kind of not VCT quality teams, and their last time that they played against VCT team was Faze in the open qualifiers, and they lost that game. Close one, though, 11-13, very much reflecting what we just saw on Fracture.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that, you know, FaZe has kind of gone towards that kind of optic composition with the Neon coming on the double initiator, Sky, and Breach. They seem to use it to really high effect with their explosive playstyle, and I would expect that they still have the edge here against Sentinels, the 2 other series.
Yeah, as the agents start to roll on in here, it looks like FaZe is just going to kind of stick to their guns in terms of comp they were playing last week. For Sentinels as well, not really much changing up for them. Tens does stick with his jet, which obviously is his role. If you're going to heckin' love this guy, it's going to be on the jet for sure. And I think the Shazam Breach as well is going to be a bit of a shift. I think he was playing the Sova previously, so moving towards that double initiator comp that a lot of teams have been rolling with at the end of the last stage and into this stage is another opportunity to give Tens, excuse me, the best moments to thrive.
Here's the thing that I'm not liking about it, though, and this is a point I feel like I've harped on in the past. I'm not the biggest fan of Dapper playing the chamber. It's not that he's bad at it, but why wouldn't you want to put it in more of a sniper's hands, a more true, you know, op player? And while Tens can certainly pull that off with the jet, don't get me wrong, imagine if you had someone like Shazam sitting in that role with chamber, and you had Dapper capable of flexing onto the Breach himself or something like that. I do wonder about the roles just a little bit in that regard. Again, Dapper has at times had some good games on chamber, but I don't think he can have the same impact a true sniper can, and that, I think, kind of cripples Sentinels a little bit here.
All right, folks. Well, you heard from our analysts. We'll see what this game brings us. But most importantly, I hope that Doug has unmuted himself, because that is kind of important to do your job, buddy. Let's send it on over to Doug and Balla, and don't you dare make fun of my headphones again, or I'm coming for you.
No way.
Nah, I'm trolling.
fake.
Yes, I gotta make fun of the headphones, man. They look older than we do, which is kind of crazy. Balla, talk to me about that chamber Dapper pick. I know Destin love it.
Yeah, there's a jet on the other side. I mean, Tens is playing jet, right? So you already have the op in this case, kind of locked up in this game. I kind of agree overall with the sentiment from Dust, but on this map specifically and with the comp that they go for, hey, I don't mind it at all. And the Killjoy has been reduced in effectiveness, I think, with the amount of breaches we're seeing on this map. I mean, we saw it a little bit yesterday in the XSET guard game, but obviously some big missteps from that specific Killjoy as well.
Sentinels decide they want to go knocking towards B. You see the early bit of utility dropped out from Raucus. Should give them room to work. Or excuse me, from Shaz. And yeah, that's going to get him in. But great delay. He isn't able to get the spike down. Baby Bay comes Ferrari peeking around the corner because, of course, why not? How much more can he find? Nope. That's all it's going to be. The spike gets planted. Tens activates the dash. His kill is just kind of corrupt all over the place. Shaz is weathering everything thrown his way. And it's Fly who's left in this 1v3. Both Shaz and Dapper are weak here. So this isn't entirely impossible. On the tap. Gets it to half. That's all it's going to be. Pistol goes in favor of Sentinels.
Great round from Shazam, gets 4 kills as well, but I think also the read from Sentinels is fantastic in this case. Sure, Baby Bay gets that first entry on the re-aggro outside of Garage, but everything from then contained that push so well that the B site was not threatened whatsoever while they could re-rotate into good post-plant positions. The A flank didn't work out either. And I think that's a protocol I've seen out of Faze already now on these B hits on pistol rounds. So when you saw how well prepped Sentinels was against the Neon already, I mean, it clearly worked a lot on Fracture, but it's just a hard thing to deal with when it's Baby Bay on the agent. They still were ready for the types of things that they were throwing out.
See if they're ready for this, as it's just dicey down C long. You see the ore being farmed, looks away. Surely you check that, right? He only is able to get one. Dapper trades that back out. And with the spike now down, Faze, they still have some numbers. But I mean, Raucus has a bulldog too, man. They spent some money.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them unless they can get a smoke down and really pressure the backside. And doesn't look like it's gonna happen just as it goes. So open for exits at this point.
They want to go. No reason not to go, right? Yeah, you see them start to work their way out. The thing is, literally all of Sentinels have decided they want to take this at a long distance fight, and well, for good reason.
It's not planted well.
Oh, no. Oh no. What is the... Okay.
One enemy remaining.
I'm going to let you talk through that one.
No, I'm just going to mute my mic again. That's shocking. That smoke as well didn't really do the job that it was supposed to. I think maybe a little far to the left there where, again, the plant just not far out in the open enough and they're spamming the wrong spot. Look at that. Superman finds an angle, finds a gap, and Flya body blocks it too, so they think they get it down. Unbelievable. That's the first thrifty, too, of the series, and it happens because they just defuse. Like,
what is it with you when stolen defuses on Haven this weekend? That's the second one. Baby Bay pushing aggressively. Look at how much A long control they have, but I don't know that they know that Raka Cesare is going to be able to get to safety, though. And boy, they made sure that he was not in that cubby anymore.
Interesting part is they still have after losing that round. Pen's very careful in the peak, though. Still challenging Dicey.
Dang. That
Nice.
stands all right.
That's some great stuff, too, from him to get on top of the box, get the angle. He just needs one shot. Dicey needs to hit the head.
Baby Bay having to get away. You've still got Tens who took a lot of space mid. You see him tucked up towards B to cut off rotations. It's really interesting here, but he only has 30 HP, right? You can't expect him to necessarily be the tip of the spear in a beaten and battered situation like this.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a box to jump up on either to break the crosshair placement. Just critical in that first engagement.
Clean shots out from Dapper. Still plenty of strength in numbers, and now you see 10 start to lurk forward. But they're rotating out. Sentinels are gone.
Still. Oh, no. That evens things out, I think. Dapper's going to go for something a little bit more, try to make it look like it's still hitting here, but the hit really is on this site.
I don't know that they buy it either. You see him a little bit scattered, but they had already left A. Now they're going to be able to approach us from both C side and A side. This Poison's the one. It's going to be pushing it from Link. Rock is able to take care of Flya, and there it is. There's that flank that I was just talking about, a 2v2 here. The spike is down. Do they have any util? They have a fault line, but that's it. And now there's smoke to provide some cover. Superman doesn't have much more. The cheeky defuses this time around. It's going to have to be all the gunfights, and the gunfights go in favor of Sentinels as they get to 2.
That's some good stuff from Sentinels there. That rotation just in time to get the spike down. And even though they lose the first engagements and lose the site, ultimately Raucus and Kempeki fall after Kempeki plays anti-flash and the flash doesn't come. It's still so good on the recovery on the backside of this. There's no utility really from Faze to flush out the spots that that Dapper and Shazam are playing from. So they recover and force another eco. The eco that should have been from Faze, I think. Here.
A little behind forecast, but you're right. Early flash. No info gathered. We got to remember again, Faze have nothing as far as guns. A couple of shorties, but well, I say but. I mean, it's Faze, right?
And Superman can play through his smoke, and Baby Bay can just get in somebody's face. So these are really, really important things to try to consider as Sentinels. And I think they've considered wisely. Let's not go garage, most importantly. And I think Shazam has been holding this angle the entire time. So next point of call is, let's probably not go short.
They've left Dapper behind to see if there's any flank coming through. And man, you're right. Look at how carefully and how slowly they're playing all of this out.
Yeah, they really are concerned about shotgun angles there. Tens goes over top. That would have been very difficult.
30 seconds left.
That smoke is a lot of misdirection here from Superman. But thankfully, Tens and Dapper clear it at the same time. Well done from them. And nothing gained from that from Superman, unfortunately.
Dapper drops an alarm bot to cut off the rotations, and Superman's... No, actually, they are going to rotate all into it. That's going to give the position away, and he's got a Vandal waiting on the other side.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. Now they're going for exit. Surely there will be no defuse, right? Surely.
They've now got 3 members of Sentinels, trained on what should be coming their way, understanding they've got a heck of a fight on the other side of this smoke, and first round's already gone in favor of Tens as Fly gets his wings clipped, not able to get much more. And of course, yeah, Baby Bay.
I like it.
I respect it.
Absolutely, you got to. And part of the reason why, I mean, he was so exciting to watch last week in their game against Cloud9 on this match specifically is stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, they all needed to die. You saw a couple people go down to the spike, so no gain on the actual site side on the exit success. Either way, now we get back to what should have been the first gun round, and this time look at Sentinels Bank. So honestly, losing that round with the amount of players that survived kind of has bolstered them in a sense. Meanwhile, Faze is really on the back foot economically, and at this point in the half, that's something that you want to start to try to get under control as well.
I'm sure this is exactly how Sentinels drew it up. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
Early knife. Jumps in. He's going to have to reposition. Yeah, not able to get the spike down. The thing is, that opener on deploy is just going to buy them some time. The Rolling Thunder to clear things out as 10 dashes forward, and Baby Bay gets 2. Greets the aggression with some of his own. He's still on the other side. The flash. What a shot. He's still alive, though.
2 pieces of utility there. Just slightly missed the Rolling Thunder from Shazam. Doesn't catch Baby Bay, and then that flash, too, doesn't catch Flya.
First flash. Dapper. Stands strong. Dapper gets 2. Dapper gets 3. I thought for sure he was a dead man.
That is so well played from them. The crossfire, and FaZe had no spam, no utility sent in his direction, and you kind of had to. There's just a flash.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, just that delay, and I'm not even sure if it got him. It could have been blocked by the wall, something like that. Slow motion.
Standing.
Yeah. That's really good for Dapper, and look at it, 7-1. So
Want to play? Let's play.
let's just continue to see what Dapper can actually bring on the chamber. I think at this point, because honestly, as Dicey falls, we haven't seen this map from Sentinels yet this group stage, which is crazy to me because it's one that they go for so often. Baby Bay trying to get to outside of this door. He does.
Made his way through. He's got the ultimate. He's taking care of Shaz. Hens waiting just on the other side of the smoke.
What a
See if
TP.
he drops. Chooses not to. Oh, there he goes.
there.
He comes out.
Excited
Enemy
already.
remaining.
I thought it was a heads-up play from Marcus because he saw the opportunity, and this is the coach experience in him, seeing how many players, just counting on his fingers. Yeah, we've seen how many? 3 utility pieces. He's probably open. Let me just TP. And then Baby Bay is almost there in time to receive it, which is just crazy.
Sentinels have come out of the gate swinging. Dapper 7-1. Tens. Shazam. I mean, you see it in the scoreline that tells the entire story. FaZe call a timeout, realizing that they're a bit dazed at the haymaker that they just took in the chin.
Yeah. And I think, especially after the success on that first eco round, they're wondering, like, oh my goodness, like, we didn't even really, like, Sentinels won that round for us. And everything else hasn't really worked. But this time they'll get the op up for Dicey. And they'll go from there. So JDM discussing right now, where's the best spot to put him? Where can we actually gain some control? This is an early timeout in the freeze time, so positions don't matter that much. They could always change it up, but the original plan looks like they were sending poised over potentially with Baby Bay to maybe do an A lobby crunch, which we've seen before.
And we'll see ultimates are also often a deciding factor in situations like this. I know we recently saw Baby Bays, but they do have the Rolling Thunder. I mean, they've got almost everything. Dicey's 1 point away from his Tour de Force, and he's bringing an op into this too. So keep an eye on that. Perhaps this is the timeout called just the right time.
They're going to go for this exactly the same mid push that they've done multiple times, and they found a little bit of success, but Shazam and Sentinels have called against it pretty well down the line.
And the relay bolt hit too, but Tens hit his shots, and that's all she wrote.
Trying to combo up the relay bolt with the stun. I think Baby Bay thought it was clear. And
Gun here.
Yeah, that's clearly an improv strat. Trying to use the fact that they've gone out with the wall multiple times and a couple of flashes, and this time just opting to dry swing with the stun instead. A good idea, but the execution, obviously, was completely awry. We might start to see Sentinels run away with this.
It's early enough to where this would be around the time the Faze make adjustments, and Dicey again misses that up shot. Can he land the second one? Yes, he can.
He can't TP out.
Yeah, he's just out of range of his rendezvous, and Raucus, what was that? They pinch him in. Dicey has nowhere he can go. Superman falls too. Boys, perhaps he can do something here. He's got the Seekers. No, he can't either. Sentinels just roll through Faze.
That is such a cool TP from Raucus as well, knowing that Dicey is trying to TP out in that instance, but no command stops him, so all he's doing is focusing on his shots. Thankfully, that's an actual op and not a tour de force. He would have been just dead to rights in that case. But what a counterplay. Recognizing, hey, it's Dicey who's playing this long position. He hasn't TP'd yet. Let's just ult him. And Dicey can do nothing. Raucus with the TP is just the icing on the cake. Now they've put the tour de force down long C, and it looks like they're actually just going to fight in A lobby like I was talking about the potential before. Maybe is already up there.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've seen this look from them too already.
He's aiming at it. Great pick from Dicey. Awareness. The Omen's back, and we haven't run into any pressure thus far. Let me just have my teammate hold everything else. I'll swing the angle that is most likely to be held.
Spike dropped.
Oh, Dicey's going to get a chance at more. He needs to come online for Faze if they want to fight back into this, and he's already gotten 2 on the round.
Teleport's ready.
Chamber duel going his way this time.
Nice flash peek for Tens.
Yeah, but they are stubborn. I'll give them that. To move Tens into a position to try to duel this out is crazy.
The knife is back up from Kentucky right now as well. But Dicey in a safe position. Safer than the long position from last round, so still such a target because that's the tour de force gone. Kentucky getting up really close, and I think Dicey's in trouble here. He dodged it.
Tries to get away.
30 seconds left.
That's going to cause a problem. The flash, and he instead goes deeper into the belly of the beast, not understanding there are 2 members just on the other side of this. But Dicey's able to get 1. That's all it is. Kentucky trades it back out. Now it's just Poised and Flya. The thing is, Flya has this Rolling Thunder, but do they fully invest? Do they go for the win here?
Especially after his first kill, all the way in the back of sight, Shazam is.
Yeah, perhaps at this point they save it and just play the chances that they can win this out without it. The flash goes a bit wide, and Shazam falls as they're going to get the defuse.
Mimi talked about how good and patient Faze was in certain situations. Here, I think it's the opposite, right? Yes, they win the round. Dicey had an opportunity to fall out of that. Yes, he gets the kill on the 10th, but honestly, a lucky kill. That was kind of an accident on the back where he was shooting at Kentucky. And then secondly as well, Fly there in that last 1v2, or the 2v1 against Shazam. Shazam's backside, trying to fight against him. And trying to isolate that fight, but Fly just wants to take it. And sure, he has to close the distance, but Poise is still nowhere near, so a little bit of a problem with that, but either way, cleans it up. And that was Dicey on C-Long, really causing an issue. This time he's going back over towards the A push, and there's a lot more players here to set up with him.
He's taking some space down long. Again, note he still has that operator.
An interesting note here I've just heard. Ten's got the first blood in 4 rounds in a row, round 3 to round 7. Unbelievable.
Interesting that they don't use utility to try to clear that out. Instead, they just let him get the plant down. The Rolling Thunder comes out to try to create some space, but do they take the fight to their door? No, they wait on the other side of smoke because he's going to stick the defuse. Not again! Not again!
One enemy remains.
And Baby Bay just cleans everything up as well. Dapper on the long flank. While the spike already defused, they also got the guns down as well, chipping away at Sentinel's bank. I can't believe this. I mean, we're a curse, Doug. That's now
we really are.
2 rounds so far where it's just been stuck on. Freaking believable.
And honestly, I was so surprised. Flya doesn't use his aftershock to deny the plant. So it's almost like they're comfortable. Yeah, go ahead and get the spike down. We're going to Rolling Thunder and then try to blitz our way into the defuse.
Get out of my way.
Hands with blades this round. A cloud burst avoids any sort of flash. As he tucks into his zone, and yeah, Dicey's not going to win that duel out. But Baby Bay will.
How did Rock? Oh, Rock's TP'd up heaven. Gets away as well.
It's almost like Sentinels are trying to give FaZe a bit of their own medicine. The pace with which they've played some of these attacking rounds has been astounding.
And Tens again with the first kill on a Dicey that time too.
Dapper. First couple of shots go awry. Flya, a whole lot before him. Ultimately falls as Sentinels get to 7. That was fast, Bala.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just considering right now. 2 rounds that FaZe have won have been because of Ninja defuses with multiple people up. Not Ninja. I mean, obviously, it's nothing sneaky about it. They're just going for it. Brute force defuse, you might say. And then every other round, there's the one that Flya and Poised end up clutching against or winning against Zem. The 2 versus 1 on the C site because Dicey does a little bit of magic. But everything else they're losing. Nothing working for FaZe here.
That'll work. No command used. In response to 10 dropping the Rolling Thunder 2, do they push forward? Oh, it might not matter as Flya gets 2. He greets the aggression.
Spikes
And now
down
this,
inside
yeah,
B.
exactly. It's in the middle of nowhere. And Sentinels are not in a position to be able to easily get it. Shaz walks right into Dicey's crosshair.
Last player standing.
Well then.
That's
This was a round.
I like
Prime
that.
Gaming Flawless round.
Yeah, and again, that's Tens not
Last
getting that
round
shot
in
onto
the half.
Dicey. It feels like it's a dueling battle between these two. Again, I want to bring back attention to that streak that he had. Nice shot from Dicey. The 4 first kills, and then the round prior, he also got that one, and they end up winning the round. He's such a pivotal instrument in this. He do it.
He did. Yeah, he did. Of course he did.
We need Baby Bay in.
Yeah, we
this
do.
league. We really need him in this league.
He's got the ult here too. Relay bolts. It's just him though. It's pushed off. You've got Flya who held onto that fault line, but at this point, they've already passed through. Any sort of dump of utility into A main is going to be a bit late. It's going to be a bit wasted.
He's got the dash.
Superman still up top. Baby Bay wins that duel out. How much more can he find? Superman goes entirely unchecked as he's gotten 2 on the round. There's that ult up from Baby Bay.
One enemy
Shazam
remaining.
in a world of hurt. He's so freaking weak. 25 HP. And 1 is all it's going to be. Baby Bay cleans things up at the end. Sentinels with still a cozy lead here, 7-5 as we head into halftime of Haven. Folks, we'll be right back. It's Sentinels map pick, and they hang on to a narrow lead as we enter the second half of Haven. 7-5 in favor of them, and now they're on the defensive half. We'll see how they can hold things back. FaZe, while they are known for their controlled chaos, are not necessarily better on the attacking side.
Yeah, no. They got a lot more success, I think, on the defense side with some of those pushes that they were doing with Baby Bay, so that's a great point. Now we'll see if they can keep up that speed, that aggression that they had on Fracture. So far, it looks exactly like they will. That's a stun. That's Baby Bay continuing forward. Oh, my goodness. And he continues there even. But Dapper's still in the back of sight. This is very hard to deal with.
Oh, not able to land that shot. Boy swings out, gives him the business as the kills continue to go back and forth. The 2v2 here as the spike still has to get picked up. 1 minute left, and they haven't cleared him out. This is such a good setup here from Sentinels. That would have required a collat, some sort of miracle of madness, but Raucus gets 3 at the end.
That was, I mean, a little ridiculous from Baby Bay. To follow up that stun kill, I mean, that was a great idea. And then to push into garage, I mean, everybody tried to funnel their way through C split. But Sentinels just didn't even, I feel like they didn't even recognize what was happening by the time Baby Bay was coming through spawn. But they're like, oh, hold on, Baby Bay's in spawn. We kill him, and then they're still positioned to fight the C split, you know? They hadn't even tried to rotate at that point.
FaZe bought up. 3 Stingers and a Spectre.
It's funny that Baby Base, the guy who has the Spectre, not the Stinger. For it. And that one kill. Similar execute, but nice nade from Campeki. Baby Base 29 HP before this even starts.
Yeah, and there was nobody who's waiting on the other side of Link. So yeah, they've established B control, but they were looking for an early pick and they weren't able to find one.
I'm wondering though if this is going to be a nasty surprise for them. I don't think any bullets have been fired, so do they know that there's Spectres and Stingers on the other side waiting for them?
Oh, I think you're right. A bullet has been fired. So the surprise is still there. You can see they're expecting aggression. The thing is, are you expecting TenZ to work his way down long? There's nothing there covering that. Now they know. Keep an eye on TenZ. There's one Stinger. Yep. He shoved the Marshall into his ear. That was an absolutely filthy shot too.
That is brutality from TenZ. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I mean, the surprise factor kind of nullified by falling back off of sight, don't you think? I mean, just a little bit. Because those guns, they got to get close range. Look at the shot. Not the first one. Second.
Now financially, well, we'll see. Okay, they can still buy. They can buy a little.
This is a little troll. Yeah, you can buy a little bit. That's 4 Stingers, no armor.
Yeah. Yikes. And there's where no armor becomes a problem. Flya still doesn't have any either. Dicey and Superman do. You don't really have a choice here except push into TenZ.
One enemy remaining.
They're making something out of this. Flya's found himself in a 1v2 and he should be able to upgrade a weapon. Oh, never mind.
I'm shocked that those trades were working at all, but
yeah.
I mean, these shooters work sometimes. And that's the 10th for Sentinels. And here's the problem, I think, with, you know, just that idea in general. Every single one of them had 4.3k. And while that might be enough for some agents to full buy, you're also not getting an op for Dicey. And he was using that on Fracture on these attacking sides, right? You remember how they were pushing one side of the map and he was lurking up the other, trying to catch the rotates. On the other side, TenZ has got his op on them, right? He upgrades from a Marshall pretty much. And it kind of feels a little bit like that first half, or the first half when they won that eco round. You remember how they were at a little bit of a disadvantage because of the way that the economy worked after that.
Do they check Raucus? No. Baby Bay just runs into his death as Raucus repositions. The flash shot from Campeki doesn't peek around.
I just flashed all of his teammates.
They're gonna decide to regress that. Yeah, there's no way in here. While a Faze is flatlined. It doesn't look like they have anything to him.
Yeah, this is opening a can of soda and it's just flat. You just throw that away. Like this is go next. Again, they're saving at this point. They didn't get the spike down. Feels like they've only gotten the spike round down on the rounds that they went B, right?
Teleport ready.
Here. Here.
And they're forcing into it again. I mean,
I mean, I guess at this point you're at so great a deficit that you need something.
I'm baffled. They're going into where it's only going to be 2 people here with the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be good, but Sentinels has a lot to retake here.
Yeah.
Like a lot. They've got the aftershock, many flashes as well. Only thing, they don't have the flank this time. And Faze has garage control, so this should work out for them.
You need to get a couple of kills here to see if this pays off. The flash up from Campeki as he drops down and just destroys Baby Bay. No real shot at this thing. The Sentinels seem to land every single shot that they're taking right now. Oh, right. TenZ dashes forward. The shorty comes out.
One enemy remaining.
Superman Campeki left in the 1v1, and Superman gets 3 to win that out, and they're going to get the op. That was something.
But again, they're going into a banked up Sentinels right now. There's plenty of money here for them to buy. Plenty of money for TenZ to get an op. And he's got the knives online too. Dapper's going to get the Tour de Force next round too. So even if they win this round, they're going into probably 2 more gun rounds in a row.
Last player standing.
And they almost all died there. Only Supermen survived, and finally they're able to scrape together some guns, scrape together the op. The tour de force is going to finally come online. Okay, so it might end up paying off down the line. I might eat my words here.
That's the thing, though, Ball, is down the line. It's a very short line we're talking about here. It's just 2 rounds away for Sentinels to put this thing away.
Good smoke from Raucus just in time. Of course, Tens kind of wants that angle, but you can see Faze wanted it just as bad. So they'll have to reposition Tens, get him into a different spot. Shazam has come over as well, relying on this trademark inside of B.
Faze cut noise. We saw him do it a couple of times on Fracture, but even with that, Sentinels still keep the 3 that rotated over to A. They keep them play.
Seeker execute. And that's right as Sentinels is running away from this. They think it's actually going to be a C hit.
And the thing is, there was no info gathered that the Seekers have to come from so far back because they hadn't taken short, they hadn't taken long. But they managed to get onto the site anyway. Spike goes down. You have Tens who's still playing up in heaven with that operator. The smoke has now been cleared. Can he find anything? Baby Bay in a cheeky little spot just on the other side. Tries to get away, not able to do so. That operator still in play. Whoa, what a shot out from Dicey. Numbers again in favor of FaZe.
1 enemy remaining. Team A.
And another round now connected for FaZe. As Dapper not able to find anything in that last moment. Can Pecky die early there? Dies early there, I should say. Inside of that smoke, gets spammed out as FaZe take the site, and I think that really hampers the re-exec and post-plant retake from Sentinels, because that's a lot of utility from him gone. Don't think he got his nade down. Don't think he got his knife refreshed and able to be used at all. So the re-hit from FaZe after they cut noise does work out nicely, but again, to go through this buy. Remember what I talked about. And losing the first kill, that's Dicey. Big part of these hits.
You see the benefit here. There are people with strong feelings against running a chamber and a jet at the same time, but you see in this moment for Sentinels the benefit from a financial perspective. They don't have to buy. They can still bring the Blade Storm and the Tour de Force into the round, and Shaz is able to do things like that to help out. Superman sticks the plan. He goes down into help, boys.
Chamber's gone as well, so Tens is coming on the flank with knives faster than any of them expect.
Rolling Thunder and the Paranoia splits up the site, and there's really no way that someone doesn't get hit by utility here. Tens has already gotten 2 on the round. Raucus gets the last. Sentinels get to map point.
That was the danger. And at this point, yes, they get the spike down. That's huge. I guess they converted pretty hard on the last round as well. Their economic situation is going to be interesting if they're going to cobble together buy after buy again. Because Sentinels is now on match point. You really don't have any more room to survive, so you just kind of have to continue on. No matter what you have.
Yeah, they've been trying to ball on a budget for a little while, and I don't know that they have very much. Timeout comes through for Phase 2. It's been nothing really from FaZe. And Ball, you mentioned earlier in the map how Sentinels and Haven just seem to be almost synonymous in a lot of ways. It is insane that we haven't seen them play it in this group stage, and
sure.
You kind of understand why in some senses, looking at how dominant they've looked over FaZe here.
Yeah, EG banded against them, LG banded against them. The only team that didn't was Optic, and then Sentinels just decided to not go for it in the second round of ban. So, yeah. It's a hard decision to test Sentinels on Haven, but I think FaZe obviously came into this with it knowing the history of this matchup, right? Knowing that they played against them in open qualifiers, knowing that they're the reason why they're down there in the first place, but one of their stumbling blocks was bind, so they had to get that out of here. And instead, they go to another strong suit for Sentinels, who, yeah, sure, they haven't played in groups, but they did go 4-1 this stage in open qualifiers. It was one of the big maps that they used to get them here after FaZe put them down in open qualifier 1. So
You want to play? Let's play.
I think a big reason for Sentinels doing so well on this map is historically it's TenZ's playground, man. A lot of these Jets in North America love this map. TenZ, yay in the past. These are the guys that will drop 30 on this map if you let this game go to 13-11. Like, they will.
Ult used from Baby Bay. Tries to find some room to work with. Off of the fast lane and goes all the way around. He might get the timing. Yeah, he does onto Dapper. How much more can he find? The thing is, it's not a B hit at all. They try to take Garage as well, and Raucus is there to greet it.
Same strat that they ran in that pistol round, but slight adjustment. They go for the right side of the B execute.
Yeah.
And they just pair it with that C split, and Baby Bay doesn't go free. Great stuff.
Dicey has to find another one here to try to put this thing away, but he has to reposition. Tucks down to Cubby. The nice thing is it's planted for him. Oh, but here comes TenZ. Fire drops him. 2v2.
Tour de force for Dicey deep down long.
Yeah. Come on, Baby Bay. He's gonna have a chance at this thing. Shazam is in a brutal spot here. How does he get this 1v2? Knowing there's a tour de force on one side. He's got to be able to land both of them almost instantaneously, and he's not going to be able to do it. Faze not quite done with Haven yet.
No, not at all. And actually, I've been talking about the decisions that they're making economically to get to this point. But you just mentioned the Jet Chamber combination. Faze is the only team that I'm seeing being comfortable with this overdrive from Baby Bay as an actual weapon in a round.
Yeah.
And he's consistently finding kills with it.
Last player standing.
I mean, you compare it to somebody like Victor when they run the Neon on this map or any map, realistically, that's used as a speed boost. But Baby Bay, I mean, experience from Overwatch clearly coming through with the tracking aim, and he's just farming with it. And so that combined with the Dicey tour de force as well, clearly an economic element to this composition as well.
They've taken A main control. They have short. And Sentinels gladly give some of the space back up. They don't have any ultimates here to work with on a retake or anything like that. Again, very similar. You see the Trailblazer goes through the fast lane to try to find some info, and that's all it is. The Rolling Thunder, the Paranoia, but the nade is so good at delaying the advances of Baby Bay. You can see what he wants to do. Kimpeki stifles it.
Cover going out.
Superman has put himself in a really bad spot. Okay, he TP's out. They have to call an audible. How do they actually recover here? I think it's just dry peaks.
They go back and forth. They still have B control. And it's just Raucus that's over at C right now.
So, but Faze has a lot of room to actually plant in the back of sight and not have to go into regular positions here because Sentinels is giving them that space. But they opt for the front sight plant anyways.
Well, they have window control, so perhaps they're leaning into Fly, being able to be the final line of defense if need be. And it may not get that far. There's 3 left on the side of Sentinels, poised. Just talking about him, he falls. 3v3 here. Superman playing on the other side of the smoke. Baby Bay still up too. It's just onto Raucus and Shazam. Shazam was able to take one down, but not able to get the second or to defuse. Faze get to 9.
And I think that should be finally the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of economy for Sentinels. And not even. I mean, yes, they will end up buying just a light buy here. And they'll press the big red button to Raucus from the player position. Potentially. And I think right now, yeah, it's kind of figuring out how to deal with that. The B hit number 1. Because I think they had a good idea that that was coming. I mean, you remember, that Kimpeki, you called it out. The fragment that he threw down delayed that push entirely and stopped Poised and Superman from being able to take that A site. Actually, it was Fly with him. So they had to fall back, and they end up regrouping inside of that B side as well. And big props as well for Fly to get that last trade onto Shazam because he was all the way back in window, and they ended up calling for everybody to stay on site because, again, they gave that space up.
I mentioned a couple of rounds ago that it seemed like Faze had flatlined in some senses. They've won 4 of the last 5. There's still a good bit to go for this comeback to come through, but they're making a run at it.
Interestingly enough, Sentinels so far in maps that they've led, and obviously they've led from a lot more than 3 rounds, which is the statistic I'm about to quote.
Oh, no.
You know
I know what's coming. Yep.
There's
Hit
been
'em with
10
it.
maps where a team has been up by 3 and lost, and Sentinels has had 3 of those maps. Out of 7 map losses, they've been up by 3. And that's what the scoreline reads right now. Again, it was much more than that, so that's kind of irrelevant, but it does paint a picture of Sentinels being a team that struggles to close out games.
Raucous with the judge just tucks himself into Seal on Cubby. See if any poor, unsuspecting soul works his way that way.
I've got your trail.
See the Seekers use this again. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a beat hit. One of the Seekers is actually going to push Tense off of Long. But this had the sight. The hit is B for all intents and purposes. No question about that. As they just roll over Sentinels, they bully him off the site. Gun advantage on full display here.
One enemy remaining.
Should wrap this up too, and make this a 2-round game. I mean, that would be crazy for FaZe to bring this back.
They're getting close. Not yet, but they're getting, yeah, they're getting there. Prime Gaming Flawless comes through, and that, I think, as you see, I mean, you look at the economy right now, Superman only has 600 credits. So for FaZe to continue to have this comeback come through, those kind of rounds need to be as clean as possible.
Yeah, I think you summed it up. This game, FaZe has been balling on a budget. that is so acute, I think. And the interesting part is I think that budget is really starting to be bigger than Sentinels. They will bring in the op this round, but this starts to look like a must-win round.
Yeah, it kind of has to happen here, right?
Neither Dapper or Tens, unless this round goes crazy in some instance. If they lose this round, will have their ult for the final.
Tens pushed off the C-long angle. He has that operator in play.
So the big thing that FaZe is thinking about right now, that Poised is thinking about as the IGL, is how do we actually counter and do something against this null command that is up? Can we strike fast enough where it's not a factor? Or can we bait it out so that we could re-exit and make it not a factor ourselves?
Note 2, Raucous 1 point away from his ult. He had such aggressive ults in the first half. The possibility of him hitting some cheeky flank is not out of the question. You hear the null command was used. As FaZe quietly make their way onto C, and it's going to be a 5v5 slugfest for the site here. Baby Bay trying to cut off rotations. First shots onto Dapper. Clean. Oh, Tense is on the flank, though. Is he waiting for it? No, he's not.
Oh, he just made a step. Oh, Baby Bay heard him. He just made a step. Meanwhile, the hit's about to come on site.
Duel on multiple fronts. Op shot misses. Baby Bay wins that out. Just 3 on the side of Sentinels. Kempeki gets 1 with the fragment.
There's a smoke up here.
Not like for long. Yeah, surely not like this. Are we really cursed? You see him spamming through. Kempeki's got an attack, not able to stick it all the way. Shazam's left in this 1v3 again, and it doesn't happen. FaZe get to 11.
And remember what I said about the economy? FaZe has a big chance right now. No ults available for Tens or Dappers, so those weapons need to be bought up, and it is already a little bit shambolic from a couple players. A Spectre from Raucous, a Sheriff from Kempeki. Surely you can buy a little bit more than that. Like, yeah, there we go. Light Armor Guardian. Oh, so Shazam has this Rolling Thunder. Now that's the key that Poise is thinking about, and I think he's making a great call right now. They're going to hit fast onto C, and they haven't really shown this look yet, but there's got to be something because this fast lane is so important and good on this site.
Remember, Shaz has his Rolling Thunder. He's on the opposite side of the map, though. There you see the utility cleared out, and this time the Aftershock to clear out top box. They've learned from their mistakes in the past. They've gotten onto C. You've got to remember that retake utility, though.
It's going to be super interesting because this time they kind of have to commit. It's a 5v5 retake, and they've got the Rolling Thunder. So where does Shazam use this? Right off the bat, inside his sight.
Note very quickly, Baby Bay did not use all of his utility. There it is. The fast lane comes out. Oh, and they've gotten 3. just down to Kempeki and Tens was on the flank, and he's left in a 1v4. Surely, given the previous round, you're expecting this. It would have to be a Tens moment, and it's not, as Baby Bay gets 4, and we go to overtime. Bala, we've been blessed with some bangers this weekend, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this is only the third series this weekend, and probably the most impactful weekend of group stage matches. And, I mean, again, a great series. There's still more to come. We got the TSM game later today. Either way, this one's still going the distance. We're only in map 2 as well. And if FaZe lose this, they have to go to Icebox. But Sentinels trying their best to stay alive, keep that miracle run possibility alive, because every single one of their fans is hoping right now. And in a tough situation, backs against the wall, this is where you expect Sentinels to be able to perform, but right now it's looking like kind of the same story from group stages so far in the first 3 weeks.
Dicey with the op. No armor. Wins that duel out.
It's always a tough decision as a chamber, too, because the utility you get when you buy an op is so minuscule. Oh. And remember, as this retake gets set up right now, as post-plants positions get assumed from Sentinels, the first half where Sentinels took the lead, 7-5, was off the back of first kills over and over and over from Tens. If they didn't get the first kill, there was only one round where they converted.
How do they get through this? How do they stop FaZe? With the numbers that they have, with the utility that they have, you see it, the fast lane, the paranoia. Now they funnel in, and Sentinels just get rolled. Baby Bay's going to get the defuse. FaZe are going to take the lead in overtime. And Bala, you've got to take me all the way back. When was the last time FaZe had a lead on Haven?
Yeah.
Have they?
It's been, I don't think they have, actually. You're right, yeah. Because remember, they lost, what was it, 6-1 in the first half?
Yeah.
Got that defuse
and then 7-5 half, yeah.
So this has been a long time coming, but right now FaZe looks like a train that just cannot be stopped. And Baby Bay's the driver, the engineer pouring the coal into the steam engine. This is so good from him. 28-17, and Dicey's starting to join him as well with those kills, those entries that he just got. And Poise has got a read on the Sentinels camp right now.
Remember, statistically, they're not as good on attack.
Every single round since they started their streak, which, by the way, was 7 rounds in a row for FaZe to bring it to this point.
That's nutty.
There has been no response. This time, though, Dapper's here on the C site. He's not over towards A.
Raucus is here to help him, too. The paranoia is so good, and the swing out from Dapper, that's a pretty setup. How much more can they find? Dapper's gotten 2. He's got a shot at the third, but the clip runs dry, and the shorty's not going to do it from that distance. It's a 3v3 for the site. Baby Bay, 61 HP. No armor to him as Raucus flicks onto Superman. Baby Bay still waiting. Oh, as he just narrowly misses the timing, and of course he goes forward, but Baby Bay falls. It's Fire, and Tens clutches that out with the filthy flick to take us to the second round of overtime.
It for sure looked like Fly was going to kill him there. It for sure looked like that was game over. That position he had on top of Logs, but Tens is not done yet. Sentinel season hanging on by a thread, And this win, even if they survive this series, is not even the first, not even close to the first step that needs to happen. Yet they're hanging on.
Dicey with the op again. Shoot, but this time it goes in favor of Dapper. That's a big one.
Tens has to hold this aggression for Baby Bay and Poise though long. Here it comes.
The aggression from FaZe is just almost expected by Sentinels at this point. But they're able to trade it back, get a couple of key kills here. Keep it close. But Dapper seems to be done messing around with this.
And Fly very aggressive there after getting 1 kill already. Just re-peaks that entire time, but Dapper's going for more. 3, okay. I mean, I understand now. He has the ult. Take an angle, hold an angle.
Sentinels take the lead back
Match point.
here in the second overtime rotation we have going on here. Faze back on attack. Timeout wisely being called here. 30 and 19 out of Baby Bay.
Jeez. And the thing that keeps running through my head is this series 2 rounds ago could have been over. I mean, that 1v1 between Fly and Tens. That was so close. Now, FaZe have to survive another onslaught. And Sentinels, for one time in that overtime, immediately they start to make the adjustments. Immediately, Shazam gets the read right, knows, hey, we need more support on C. We cannot continue to go for this A control and get Tens on the flank if we're not going to do something to hold down and fight back C, because these retakes are not working. Even with ults, even with guns, any of that. And the other thing too that's running through my head, I feel like a Sentinels fan right now. So many thoughts. Is Faze? I mean, I was criticizing them so hard for those forces in the attack side, where it looked like the game was over. And look where they brought it. They're making some brilliant decisions with this comp. Great understanding, I think.
Again, Baby Bay takes the space, pushes his way forward, gives it back. No early contest short. Dapper swung his way forward. Yeah, and gives it back too.
I like that angle, but that's a tough shot, man. That's a tough flick when you're holding 2 window ends. If that was smoked, it'd be different.
He had the safety of the rendezvous, but you're right, that's brutal anyway. They're going to walk right into Tens' crosshair if they go forward here. The flash. Back on up. Oh, they want to go. Dapper's there. Tens with the spam through the smoke. Not able to find anything in Baby Bay. Up close and personal gets it. Rockets and Shazam are the only 2 left. Neither team refusing to give an inch. Shazam and Rockets are making a run at this thing. It's down to a 2v2 here. Dicey gets the timing just right. It's on to the leader for Sentinels to win this one out in a 1v2 to avoid a 3rd round of overtime. Oh, and he's guessing wrong.
One enemy remaining.
Whew. That first shot was clean, but the trap was just the crossfire. The trap, it was gorgeous by Faze.
Yeah.
Switching sides.
I'm
Overtime.
honestly shocked that it comes down to a 1v1.
Again.
Yeah. But yeah, that was much less winnable for Shazam, for example. And still, also, I think I'm shocked more so because it was the 2 brains of the team that fight back a 2 versus 4 and bring it to that stage entirely, right? But this fight from Dicey, I think a little too hard to get at. Now, back to the defense half for FaZe, and remember, Tens on the entry right here. Dicey's been able to shut him down, specifically when he's played this position as well.
It's Dapper who's been able to fight back pretty well. See if he can find one here. No operator on the side of Sentinels, and again, Dicey using his. It's going to be another C-split. And it's just Shaz here this time. You got to remember, in the last round, it was 2 people here. This time it's just Shazam.
Fly has to get out of there. Dapper really toying with the idea of going for this, and he's taking down Tens.
Spike planted.
You know he's there. I mean, you just spam that and flash it out. Dapper's gone. Now 5 versus 3 on this retake. FaZe poised to take another lead in this overtime.
Can't use that.
Baby Bay still has all his utility, the flash, the fast lane, the paranoia, the fault line, the aftershock, literally everything thrown out. As Rockets manages to stay alive a little bit. But not long enough. You're right, Balla. FaZe take the lead back.
Second lead of the entire map for FaZe. And again, putting
Switching
Sentinels
sides. Match point.
fate in their hands. Their entire season comes down to this. Their entire year could come down to this. I mean, LCQ implications are not even really thought of in my mind, because it's just so difficult to see and understand what any of this means down the line. So we'll see. I mean, this is it.
So very quickly, FaZe like to aggressively take short, and they try to clear this out, but this time TenZ is going to be here with an op. This time, no fast lane though, no early peek. I don't know that they know TenZ is there, and he lands the shots onto Poised. Repositioning two to try to find another. A flash in his face. He has to dash forward. Baby Bay has gotten his way into hell.
They've got great retake positions right now. They no flank coming. Tapper a little slow on his own flank. He's just actually just going to stick it. TenZ gets another pick too. This is starting to look really tough for FaZe to hold on to.
How has he done that? All eyes continue to go towards Baby Bay. He's already gotten one on the round. He's still alive. And he's still got a shot at more. They're keeping Sentinels back. There are only two that remain. It's all on to 1, 16 to 14. It's 7 a.m. FaZe just took down Sentinels and ended their year.
FaZe